Hello, my friends, and welcome. I'm back from vacation. I'm so happy to be home again. Of course, our beautiful vacation was exactly what we needed. And we went to Cape Cod. And anybody who is joining me for the first time, I'm Irina. And I am here in Wisconsin, in New Berlin. And yes, in Wisconsin, we do pronounce it New Berlin. And I skipped a week because, well, we were on vacation. And so here we are in New Berlin at Eclectica, and I'm ready to do a video. And I have all sorts of new inspiration, having gone somewhere else and having seen all sorts of beautiful natural wonders, as well as actually some jewelry inspirations. So, well, let's get to the point. We will be making a bracelet today, and I call this bracelet Cool Ice Cubes because, well, I hope they're cool. I hope you think they're cool. And these are Swarovski crystals, and they just always remind me of ice cubes. These are the 8mm cubes, and I think they're so fun. And I am going to show you my 3 colorways right now. And a little later in the video, we will be making a 4th colorway. And in the meantime, so we're just going to enjoy the sparkles for just a moment. And I will tell you what the colors are. So we have Ocean Wave, and then we have violets and crocus. No, violets and lilacs. I always think of this color as kind of crocus-like, but I call the color violets and lilacs. And then, of course, we have Jet AB. So this is actually a really popular style of bracelet. I have made similar styles with other materials, and I thought, you know, as the nights are getting longer and the days are getting shorter, we just need a little extra bling, and we're going to get that with this bracelet.
Ellen says, hi, Irina and everyone.
Hi, Ellen. Thanks for joining me today.
Fonda says, good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome home. We missed you.
Thank you so much, Fonda. You know what? As much fun as we had on vacation, I actually really missed you guys too. I miss doing these videos, and I miss talking to you.
Connie says, hello, Irina, Tony, Lauren, and everyone.
Hi, Connie. And on behalf of everyone, thank you for joining us today.
Trudy says, good evening, all.
Hi, Trudy.
Lonnie says, welcome back. Hope you had a great time.
Thank you so much, Lonnie. Yes, we had a blast. We had a blast in the ocean. We had a wonderful time hiking. We did so many fun things. Every time we go to Cape Cod, we do something totally different. And this time is not an exception.
Angela says, good evening.
Hi, Angela.
Debbie says, hey, everyone.
Hi, Debbie.
Amy says, hi, everyone.
Hey, Amy.
Pammy J says, good evening, Irina, Tony, Lauren, and all.
Hi, Pammy J.
Betty says, hello, you guys.
Hi, Betty.
Katie S says, happy Thursday, all.
Hi, Katie, and happy Thursday.
Jane says, welcome back. Hope you had a great vacation.
Hi, thank you so much, Jane. Oh my gosh, yes, it was absolutely wonderful. We had like the best view in the world.
Lana says, hi.
Hi, Lana.
Pammy J says, all bracelets have gorgeous colors.
Thank you so much. And speaking of colors, there's a new color that we will be working on, and that color was inspired by you ladies. because last time when I previewed these bracelets, a couple of people said, hey, make something with pinks or reds. And I said, okay, let me go and look for pinks and reds. And how do you guys like this little puddle of gorgeous color?
Lana adds, so pretty.
Thank you so much, Lana. All right, guys. So what do you think? Is it that time? Do we want to just dive into the project? I think, yeah, let's go for it. Okay, so I'm going to move a couple of bracelets and maybe just leave one. And this way, we all know what we're making, right? Just in case if we forget, this is what we're making. Okay, so I have a little length of soft flex here and some fun components, and I'm going to grab a few of these components to start.
Lonnie says great colors.
Thank you so much, Lonnie.
Veronica says hello.
Hi, Veronica.
And Lana says, love the new colors. Red is my favorite.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so happy, you guys. You know what? I have a couple of little crimp covers stuck. Let's see if this is my... Oh, yes, it worked the first time. Did you guys see that?
Wow.
I can't even...
Should go to Vegas.
I can't even do a reenactment. Usually I get to drop it a couple of times before they fall apart. So now you know, if your crimp covers get stuck together, you know how they like to just hang out in pairs, just drop it, and generally they separate.
Lynn B says very pretty.
Thank you so much, Lynn. Yeah, I'm so glad you guys suggested the pinks and the reds because I'm so happy with this combo. I think it's just such a vibrant and joyful colorway. Okay, so let's get started. So I have a length of soft flex here, and I'm assuming that everybody is pretty familiar with soft flex, but just in case you're not, soft flex wire is, as the name would suggest, is very flexible. It's stringing wire, and it's very, very strong because it has multiple strands of steel wire, very fine steel wire inside plastic tubing. And it does not knot very well. So because of that, we use a little finding called a crimp. And here is our crimp. So it's just like a little silver tube, or it can be any metal, but because we're using silver tone findings, we're using a silver crimp. And right after that, we are going to string our wire guardian onto the soft flex wire. And the wire guardian is a wonderful little invention. It's a nice finding that allows us to finish our jewelry in a very professional way. So as you saw, I just string the wire through both sides of the wire guardian.
Karen says, good evening all. And Lana is wondering, will you have a list of supplies? It's my first time watching.
Oh, hi, Karen and Lana. Well, first of all, since this is your first time watching, I would love to welcome you to my videos and our group. We have a wonderful group. Sometimes people, become friends just through watching these videos, and they start saying hi to one another. It's great. I'm glad you found us, and let me tell you about the kits. So everything that I do in these videos is either already listed in our Etsy shop as a kit, or sometimes when I do a new colorway, like what I'm about to do, so that will be listed tomorrow. So if it already exists as a finished sample, just like what I showed a little bit earlier, It should already be in the Etsy shop, and anything that's being made right now will be listed the following day. So that's always true. And I do these videos Thursday nights, just like I'm doing now, and also Friday mornings. And a little later in the video, I will preview what I'm doing tomorrow as well as the next week. So
Lana says, great, thank you so much.
oh, my pleasure, Lana. I'm so glad you found us. All right, guys. So, as you can see, I have my crimp and my wire guardian. And I do have just a little bit of space between the crimp and the wire guardian. Can you see? It's not like it's right next to it. In fact, you know, what I usually like to do is just move the sides of the wire guardian just ever so slightly closer. And I still have just a little bit of space. So that space is so that I can use a crimp cover in just a moment. But in the meantime, we're going to use a crimper. And the crimper or the crimping tool has two openings. So I know that most of you already know how to use a crimper, but for anybody who is new to this, I would like to point out that there are two openings in the crimper. One looks like a kidney bean, the other one is oval. So the first one we're going to use is the one that's a little closer to me, and that's the kidney bean shaped opening, and we're just going to squeeze the crimp by inserting it into that opening, and that creates like a groove in our crimp. And then we're going to turn our crimper, and this time we are using the oval opening, which, as you can see, is closer to the tip or the nose of the crimping pliers, and we're going to give it a nice squeeze.
Kathy M says, love the rose colors, Irina.
Oh, thank you so much, Kathy. You know what? I just kind of goofed up this crimp. You know, it happens, you guys. Sometimes when you're talking and doing things, and I was not entirely paying attention. So we're going to have a second take. And again, you guys, these are live videos, so we're just going to do a quick redo. So I am, you know, this is such a simple process. You never ever expect to make a little boo-boo, but that's when it happens. Okay, so again, we're going to use the kidney bean opening first, and then I'm going to turn it around and use the oval opening. Oh, so much better. I think what happened was my pliers must have slipped or something, and I didn't like how it came out. Okay, so now we are going to cover our crimp with this wonderful little invention, and this is a crimp cover. And this is meant to cover our crimp, and it's just going to make it, it's going to hide the crimp. Actually, I'm a little bit ahead of myself. So I'm first going to trim the excess wire. You don't need this excess wire at all. We are not going to feed it into our beads. So if you cut it as close as you can to the crimp, that would be the best thing to do. And so now we are going to put the crimp cover right over the crimp. And sometimes I pick it up with my flat nose, sometimes I pick it up with my hands. However you can get it there, just so that it's well inside, the crimp is well inside the crimp cover. And then using my flat nose pliers, I'm going to start squeezing my pliers very slowly so that I can control what I'm doing. And as soon as I cannot go anymore without overlapping at the edges, what I'll do is I will turn my flat nose pliers so that the jaw of the flat nose pliers is right at the edge. Can you guys see how it's right at the edge of what is going to be the seam? And we're going to slowly bend the crimp cover in on one side, and then we're going to turn it around and do the same on the other side. It's a very simple step, but you have to kind of slow down in order for this to work really well. It takes just a little bit of finessing, and as you can see, I have closed the bead entirely, and yes, you can see the seam. And there's some beads that just come with a seam, so it just looks like a round bead. So now we're going to start stringing. And I have my cubes, my beautiful Swarovski cubes. And yes, I know that not everyone is aware that Swarovski is no longer selling to our industry. So if you are aware, you've already probably lamented the fact. And if you are becoming aware of this for the first time ever, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. But yes, they have decided to go a different way, and they're just not selling to the DIY industry. So normally I pick beads pretty randomly in how I string them, but there are only a few beads here, so I just want to make sure that I do like the order. And I think this is good, or maybe we'll just swap out for that rich fuchsia color. And what I'm doing is I'm laying out 7 of the cubes in some type of an order that will make me happy. And I'm saving 1 cube so that I can have a little bauble at the end, just like I do in my samples. So I think I'm happy with this order. What do you guys think? Is this good? Do we want to swap anything out before we get started? Are we happy with this? So I'm just going to start stringing. And if you want to give suggestions, please don't be shy. So I'm going to start with a cube, and then I have these little spacers, and they're just big enough to separate the cubes. They're not really going to make a statement of their own. They're just there to separate the cubes and kind of feature each cube almost like as a little focal point. So the other thing too that the spacers will do is they will allow the cubes to turn and be drapey, because whenever you have a bead with flat sides, you can't string a whole bunch of beads with flat sides without separating them, because they're just not going to hang correctly. They're going to be very stiff.
Fonda says looks good.
Thank you so much, Fonda. It's always so nice to have a little feedback. Okay, so I'm just going to continue stringing my last couple of beads, and then we are going to do what we did to start the bracelet, meaning we're going to crimp, use a wire guardian, and then cover the crimp in that order. So here is my crimp, and now I'm going to string through the wire guardian, both sides of the wire guardian. If you've never used the wire guardian, it's pretty wonderful, because not only does it protect your wire from rubbing and eventually breaking, but it makes things look very professional. Rather than just having bare soft flex wire, it goes through this very neat looking finding, and it just makes everything look good, and it provides a loop that we can connect to, which is exactly what we need in this case. So I'm just tightening the components, and just as before, I'm going to use my chain nose pliers to bring the two sides of the wire guardian together. So the crimps are generally 2 by 2, and the crimps we're using in this project are 2 by 2 millimeters. The crimp cover is 4 millimeters in diameter. Maybe it's just slightly under 4 millimeters. So again, we will need a little extra space for the crimp cover. So if you can see, I am leaving probably an extra 2 millimeters for the crimp cover. So that's really important. And now we're going to do the crimping again.
Pammy J says, thanks for the advice on stringing cube beads.
Oh, my pleasure, Pammy J.
Cheryl says, love the edgy look of the Jet AB cubes. I made sure to get one for my daughter for Halloween.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. I'm glad you like those. All right, so I just used the first opening, which is like a kidney bean, and you can see how it's folded. And now we're going to use the oval opening. So at this point, I'm holding the crimp so that it's perpendicular to the oval opening, and let's just give it a nice squeeze. Okay, and done. So this is a very simple process. And now we're just going to snip off that excess wire right next to the crimp, and done. So now I'm going to have my flat nose pliers handy, because that's what I'm going to use to cover the crimp. And here is the crimp right inside of the crimp cover. And now we just have to close the crimp cover and make it look like a little round bead. So just as before, I'm now that I have closed it to the point where I have to shift the position of my pliers so that I can start closing the seam. And again, it's all about finessing. It's all about just kind of going back and forth and using very little pressure, but we're being very deliberate. And there's the seam. And this is what our component looks like. So I'm calling this colorway Peonies. And that's because, well, it looks like it's the color of peonies. And depending on where you're from, you might pronounce it peonies, the same flower. And so now I'm going to take my remaining cube, my remaining Swarovski cube, and I'm going to put it on a ball pin. And here's my ball pin. It's a very fine ball pin. And I am going to make a wrapped loop. So in order to make a nice wrapped loop, we're going to start by creating a 90-degree angle. So those 90-degree angles are our friends for sure when we do this, because that allows us to have control when we coil that wrapped loop. So I'm making the loop itself, as you can see. So here's my half a loop, and now I'm going to just simply guide the wire with my hands. And then I'm going to switch to my chain nose pliers and start coiling around the wire that holds the cube.
Pammy J says, gorgeous component.
Oh, thank you so much, Pammy J.
Barb says, oh my, I almost forgot about you tonight. Love all the colorways.
Oh, thank you so much. I love that. Yes, and so what do you guys think about the new colorway? It kind of just really blends into this very joyful peony colorway, right? All right, so you can stop right here and trim your wire, or if you want to make that coil just a little bit stronger and also a little bit more contemporary, we're going to go back towards the loop and create that organically wrapped loop, which I like to do. It strengthens the loop and it just makes it look more fun. All right, so it's just a couple of coils towards the loop and that's it, done. So now I will trim the excess wire, and always we're going to tuck in that little and. So the and is not meant to be a weapon, so you always want to tuck it in so that it doesn't hurt you or anybody who wears the bracelet. And now we are going to use this wonderful, very large Rolo chain. And I love this Rolo chain because the links are not soldered. And so what we can do is, depending on the size we need, and I guess let me talk about the size just a little bit. I guess somewhere in here I had a ruler. My ruler always, I think, like little magical people move my rulers at night. I think that's what they do.
Ellen says, yes, I love the pinks and red. Thank you for designing this peony colorway.
Oh, thank you so much, Ellen. I think it was for you and for somebody else. I forget who else wanted it.
Pammy J says, new colorway is another winner.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Pammy J. All right, guys. So this little component with the wire guardian is 3 1/4 inches. So as you know, generally we measure our wrist in inches, and you might have a 7-inch wrist or an 8-inch wrist, or I believe you can make up to a 9-inch bracelet with the supplies in the kit. You can also make it smaller. You might have a 5-inch wrist, who knows? But either way, so this component is 3 1/4 inches. And normally I make my bracelets about 6.5 to 7 inches. However, because this one is adjustable and it has this really fun little bauble. So here, let me model this for you. And oh yes, the max Tony is telling me is 9.5 inches. But oops. But even if you don't actually need 9.5 inches or, whatever length, you might want to make it a little longer just for fun so that you can have this fun little bauble hanging down. So, but, at its maximum length, if you use all the supplies, it will fit up to a 9.5 inch wrist. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And so all of my samples, I don't know, let's measure them, I guess. So obviously we're not going to count the bauble. And I used 8 links on each side. And all of my samples, it looks like, are 7.5 inches, just so you have a little bit of an idea. So I will separate 8 links. So let's see if we can count. Okay, so this is 8 links right here. And I'm using a flat nose and a chain nose pliers to separate. And just like when we use a jump ring, we open it side to side and then we close it the very same way. And we are going to need 2 of these sets of 8 links. So again, with my flat nose and my chain nose, I'm holding on to the link I'm trying to open, and we're going to close it the same way. So it opens and closes very easily. Just make sure that when you close it the same way so that there's no gap between the 2 sides of the link. Okay, so somewhere in here we have some jump rings. Let me grab my jump rings, and we are going to do the final assembling. So we're going to open these jump rings the same exact way that I just opened the links. And I like opening my jump rings all at the same time, kind of assembly style, because when I'm ready to use them, they're already pre-opened. And here we go. We're going to connect our set of links to one side of the jump ring, or rather to the jump ring, and in the same jump ring I have the wire guardian. So you can see how the jump ring connects the chain and the wire guardian on one side, and we will do the same on the other side. And when you close the jump ring, you want to kind of overlap it just a tiny bit. And if you do overlap it, you will hear a little click or a little scrape, and that's wonderful because that tells us that we don't have a gap. All right, so now we're just going to open an end link on one side and slip in our Swarovski cube. So I guess we could have used a jump ring, but I decided not to. I just thought it looks nice this way. And since the jump rings open so easily, we can do that. And actually, we can do that on the other side as well. Although in my samples, I did use a jump ring. So in the kit, you will use a jump ring, and you can decide if you want to use a jump ring to connect the clasp, or if you just want to open an end link. And just for the sake of consistency, I will use a jump ring. So there we go. And now we close our jump ring. And that's it. All done. So we have a finished bracelet like that. And I do like that floral oversized clasp. I think that's really fun. All right, guys, so what do you think? Was that super easy? It's a really fun, really easy project, and I think it's a really good statement project. And going into the season of bling, I guess, you know, as we get closer to winter, I don't know about you guys, but certainly my soul craves a little more bling. I think it's because, you know, it sort of replaces sunlight or something. There's something about winter and bling. So here are all of our bracelets. And now that we're done with the bracelets, let's, I guess let's talk about tomorrow. So tomorrow I have a video at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. And this is going to be on the Eclectica page, and we're going to be making the Enchanted Forest necklace. And this is what it looks like. To me, this just sort of looks like a necklace that a forest fairy would wear. So if you consider yourself a forest fairy, you're going to need this one. So I hope you join me tomorrow.
Fonda says so many pretty colors. It's going to be hard to pick a favorite color.
Oh, thank you so much, Fonda. I'm so glad you like them. I have to say, I know I'm not supposed to have favorites. I know that they're all my babies and I love them all. But I'm such an ocean girl, and since I just came back from Cape Cod and enjoyed the beautiful ocean and floated in the tides and all that, of course, my eye, at least right now, and tomorrow this may change, but as of right now, I'm all about the ocean, so my eye is really drawn to the ocean wave colorway.
Barb says, as usual, I will want to make more than one. I'm very good to my friends.
Oh, that's fantastic, Barb. Good for your friends. That's wonderful.
Katie S. says, the chunky Rolo goes so well with that clasp.
Thanks so much, Katie. You know what? I'm so glad you made that observation. That's what I always think as well. I love the clasp, but you certainly cannot use this clasp with a dainty chain. And yeah, I think the clasp makes a little bit of a statement. It just, it adds like this kind of a modern, chunky look as well as the chain does.
Pammy J is wondering, what is the size of the spacer bead and is it on Etsy?
Pammy J, good question. Unfortunately, I think it's not.
I think it is. I think it's sold out.
We have had it on Etsy at times, and it may be sold out, but you know what to do. If it is sold out, you can always contact Kathy, our awesome, wonderful Kathy, who works in mail order. In fact, she's the entire mail order department. Unless, of course, she's on vacation, and then Tony is Kathy, so as well as himself. You guys figure it out. But where am I going with this? But please do contact Kathy if you don't find something. And let me just tell you, it's the 8-0 seed bead in the hollow metal bead. So it's the hollow 8-0 metal bead.
Joan says, thank you, Irina. I love these bracelets.
Oh, thank you so much, Joan. Did you pick your favorite?
Katie S. says, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow's necklace, my kind of magic.
Oh, thank you so much. It's my kind of magic, too.
Karen says, beautiful design, loving the sparkle.
Thank you so much.
Casey says, beautiful. I'm an oil spill iridescent girl.
Okay, I'm assuming that you're liking the black then, yes. Cool.
Beverly says, really nice. Wow, wow, nice.
Oh, thank you for the wow wows. Thank you so much.
Ellen says, I love the peony colorway. Will the kit come up tomorrow?
Yes, absolutely, Ellen. So Tony is saying that he actually might even list it tonight because it'll take me a little bit to get ready for tomorrow's video, and I always get ready the night before since we do the video somewhat early. So yeah, we'll probably have it sometime tonight in the Etsy shop.
Ellen says also AB Jet colorway looks like an abstract painting.
It kind of does. You're right. It's definitely a very strong colorway. If you like that really strong bling, you're going to love this. So it has all the blues and oranges of the AB over the jet black.
Veronica says, I love the purple one.
Oh, thank you so much, Veronica.
Barb is wondering, will all the colorways be in the store?
Yes, absolutely, Barb. They will all be in the store tomorrow. Sometime, I would say around 2. If you stop by after 2, they will all be in the store.
Sabrina says, very pretty bracelets. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sabrina.
Belle says, lovely. I like that you used a heavier silver chain. When you have a skinny little chain and heavier beads, the bracelet always spins on your wrist and you see the clasp, not the beads.
Thank you so much. It was Barb, right, who said this?
No,
So,
Belle.
Belle, thank you, Belle, for making that observation because, you're so right. And I'm just going to make it a point to say that between the heavier clasp and also an extra little bauble, the idea is that you have enough weight to weigh down your bracelet so that it does not spin around your wrist, because we certainly want the fun, blingy ice cubes, quote unquote, to be at the top of your wrist rather than at the bottom.
Kristen says, your work is exquisite.
Thank you so much, Kristen. That's so sweet of you.
Yvonne says, I love them all. My first time watching. Thank you so much.
Oh, yay! And thank you for joining us, Yvonne. Yvonne?
Yvonne.
And welcome to our group.
Heidi says, gorgeous projects. Can't wait to make the necklace. Thank you.
Yay! Thank you so much, Heidi. You know what? I am excited about the necklace. I'm so totally excited about the necklace. It's definitely very eclectic. And this is one of my favorite color palettes, the kind of like the fall leaves sort of color palettes. And we're going to have a lot of fun with it tomorrow, you guys. Okay, so back to the preview. So you already know what we're doing tomorrow morning, and that is the enchanted forest necklace. And then let me tell you what we're doing next week. So because the spiders were so popular, you guys, we are making spider earrings on Friday. And so when I was... when was this? I think this was like the week before I left. I don't know. Time is abstract at this point. I don't even know what week this is. But so whenever we made the spiders, you guys were so excited about the possibility of making them into earrings. And I thought, wait a minute, we could do that. Let's downsize the beads. Let's downsize the wire. And so I sat down and made these little spiders, and I have to tell you, as it gets closer to Halloween, I will most definitely be wearing them. I like whimsy and kind of fun stuff occasionally, I mean, you can't always just go for the elegant and beautiful. Sometimes it's about the Halloween spiders. And so we will be doing this on Friday. We'll be making Halloween spider earrings. And yes, we still have a lot of time before Halloween to make a whole bunch of these. And on Thursday, and I know I'm going out of order, right? But it just happened to be that way. So on Thursday, we are making Kyanite Symphony necklace. And this is what Kyanite Symphony looks like. This is a very popular style of necklace at this point. And it's pretty long. And the reason, okay, I'm a little bit tangled here, but I'm trying to show you why it's called, okay, there it is. Why it's called Kyanite Symphony. Because... well, not only do I love kyanite, but I love this treble cloth. And this is a clasp. This treble cloth is actually a very practical component. It acts as a clasp, rather, and it just adds something a little fun to our necklace. So there is our Kyanite Symphony, and this is going to be on my page. So every time you watch on Thursday, it's the Irina Miech page, and then every time you watch on Friday, it's the Eclectica page. And of course, the links are going to be in the description for this video, as well as in the comments. And be sure to sign up for the emails by clicking the bell. I'm sorry, did I say emails? No. For the notifications. And so please do click that little bell, and then you will be notified when a video is about to start.
Fonda says, just bought tomorrow's kit.
Oh, yay! Thank you so much, Fonda. So obviously you bought this one, which is the only colorway that is listed tonight. And tomorrow we will make another colorway yet. It's kind of like mauve, and it's still very earthy, but it's more like mauves and subtle pinks. It's very fun. And oh yes, but wait, you guys, there's more. Not more projects, but just kind of a little shop update. We added the Swarovski cubes in 8mm to the Etsy shop. We had a few colors already in the Etsy shop, and we added a few more colors. So just in case, if you want to decide your own, design your own rather, that is an option.
Heidi says, don't you just love those acorns?
I adore these acorns, Heidi, and I'm so glad you like them as well. Yeah, I love these acorns. I love designing with them. I'm sad that we are actually running out of this color, and we cannot replace these because these beads, so here, let me just show you. So the acorns, as well as the leaves that I'm using in the Enchanted Forest necklace, are very, very special. They are vintage reproduction beads. And what that means is that they're actually using vintage molds as well as vintage glass. So we found a whole bunch of vintage glass, and we had these made. And unfortunately, we used up all of this glass, which is not reproducible. So what we have is what we have, and we cannot reproduce this red anymore. I don't know if there is any more left in the Etsy shop, but pretty much in this necklace I'm kind of using up the last of this particular color. There are a lot of other great colors, but this is one of my faves. Okay guys, so I believe we have just talked about everything, right? Just about everything in the world. Well, not everything in the world, but everything that has to do with what we did today and what we're doing tomorrow and next week. So unless you have questions or comments, I think it's that time. So
Lonnie says, thank you. Great to see you back. See you tomorrow.
oh, yay. Thank you so much, Lonnie. It's so nice to be back. And I will see you guys tomorrow. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for your wonderful suggestions. Really, I love your suggestions. Please keep them coming, because this colorway came directly from your suggestions, as well as the spider earrings. So I love it when you inspire me to do something new, something different. Maybe it's related to something that I'm already doing. Sometimes it's not even related, but just please know that I love it when you suggest things.
Jane says, thank you.
Thank you so much, Jane.
Connie says, thanks so much. Loved all the designs.
Yay, thank you so much, Connie.
Amy says, thank you. And Heidi says, thank you. Have a relaxing evening.
Yay, thank you so much, ladies. And you guys have a wonderful and creative evening. See you tomorrow.